Hello everybody, this project is about Planners Lab Team Project 1 and my name is Patyagya Anudharansulu Piris and I'm going to demonstrate about Planners Lab software and how we can use it to have a good business plans. So as I mentioned before, Planners Lab software is a planning software. So it can predict future planning and we can also have exactly outcomes with the data we get. So we can have nice models in order to see what can be happen in the future, and according to that we can make decisions. So we can recognize Planners Lab software as a decision support system. So going to, I have some literature reviews which I have done. Mostly these literature reviews have more depth about the Planners Lab software. As I mentioned before, this is a planning software, so there are newer planning softwares in the current market, but Planners Lab has been there from past 10 years. So there are some existing literature reviews, so this is some of them. So moving to my project, so my project is mainly about a Tesla like company. So my idea here is to find out the revenue, expenses, and I will be calculating the staffing, professional and associates, and finding out what can be done in order to predict and get a better business plan as well as good decisions for this particular automobile company. So as the methodology, I have created some of the equations which I can do it in the Planners Lab software. So mainly we do have a Planners Lab software interface where we can build these equations first and then have some graph in it and understand what can be done with it. So moving forward, this is the administrative, other expenses and summary. So all these included with the billing rates, days billed and revenue, and salary per day, people expenses, profit, etc. So as well as for the other expenses, I have legal, materials, equipment, and for summary, I have total revenue, overhead and benefits rate, total people expenses, expenses in staffing, as well as total expenses. I do have total people expenses plus total other expenses in other expenses divided by profit. So the idea here is to understand the revenue and what are the expenses this Tesla like company needs to do, and in order to make decisions I'm using Planners Lab software. So moving forward, this is one of the interfaces in the Planners Lab software. You can see this is the modeling where we can have create the models. The before slide I have explained some of the equations I have used. So as you see in the tree like structure in the left hand side, we do have the model design, staffing, professional, associates, administrative, other expenses and summary. So I went through all this in the last slide. So as I mentioned before, this each model we can put equation in this interface and calculate what kind of outcome can happen in a given time. So in this I have created a quarters from 2019 to 2020. So the first quarter to fourth quarter 2019 and the first quarter to fourth quarter in 2020. So after putting all the equations for the tree like structure, we can move ahead and see what kind of an outcome in the playground. So this is another outlook of summary, and this is the playground. So the playground is very interesting because in this playground we can have multiple ways to analyze what kind of a profits or outcomes can happen in this particular company. So as you can see in this picture, you can see a line chart which is goal seeks line chart, and in the right hand side you can see what if line chart. So as example, if the what if line chart, if we try to move and make some changes accordingly, we can understand what kind of change can occur in the goal line chart. So as example, if I change the profit or revenue or etc., we can see what kind of input like billing rate will need to be changed. In the other hand, if we change the billing rate, we can see what kind of a profit we can get from this outcome. So moving forward, I have another chart which is a line chart which shows how can the profit and revenue and all the other structures will be seen. So in this chart, we have total other expenses which include legal, materials, equipment, T&E. After that, these are some of the newer analysis we can do in the Planners Lab software, like line chart, goal seek line chart, what if line chart, impact analysis, risk analysis, confidence analysis, variable tree. Correlation can be achieved through with playground in Planners Lab software. If we dig deep, we can do a much more analysis for a particular company. Going forward, these are some of the recommendations which I recommend to improve this specific project. As you can see, strategic planning, financial planning, capital budgeting, balance scorecards, engineering project investment analysis, merger, acquisition analysis, sales forecasting. All these can be done with the Planners Lab software. So in the conclusion, I can say Planners Lab software is a very effective way in order to simulate and visualize the data and have some visualization and visual analytics with a future revenue of a company. And we can anticipate some assumption about the future and understand what needs to be changed in current in order to achieve good luck and good revenue in the future. And Planners Lab has the ability to rehearse the future without no cost. We can drop some data and change the data and see what might happen in the future if we do certain tasks. As example, if we change a billing rate, revenue can go up or down. So that way, Planners Lab software is a very effective tool in order to understand visual analytics as well as do visualization, because as you know, visual analytics and visualization is two different things. So Planners Lab software combines simulation and visualization both together and give intuitive visualization, and it can interface a good future right now